Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rabbi.
This week's Parsha, Devarim, talks about the commandment of bringing forth judges. Havu lachem anashim chacham, bring forth men of wisdom, wise people, v'yoidim, people that know the halachas. Vasim l'shivteichem, vasim brasheichem. Each tribe should choose their own. So you shouldn't think that he's from a different tribe, he's choosing the other guy. Each tribe should have their own judges. They judge between their own people. Like this, you can't say that this person is picking and choosing and he has somebody that he likes more than the other. V'yiduim l'shivteichem. There should be people that people admire, people look up to. So like this will be easier for them to accept the words of the judges. I will command the judges at that time. Listen to between your brothers. They should judge righteously. Where there's a man between his brother and even a convert, whoever lives there, there has to be a real, complete, honest judging. So the Gemara says, Shamoya ben acheichem, listen between your brothers, means to say you can't allow one person coming to Bezdin before the other one. You know, sometimes you come, you tell the guy, you tell the person the story. You made such a beautiful story that it's impossible for the other guy to be right. So now, the person that's hearing this story is already convinced that you're right. Now the other guy is on defense. You know, I mean, he has to convince why he had excuse even. I mean, he's definitely wrong. Let's even understand why you're wrong. Like, what were you even thinking? So it's important also, the halacha is that you can't listen to anybody's tinus without without both people present. A, that the first person shouldn't say it out of context. And B, it should allow the judge to be able to also see things the way they are. Because when you hear a whole full story, it starts to build in your head. I can tell you from personal experience. Sometimes someone comes up to me and tells me a story. I'm thinking, wow, this is like, there's no way out of it. Then I hear the other side. I'm like, okay, listen, you see there is another side to the story. You thought this was it. So there is that level. So it's brought down also in our lives. We also have two teams. There's the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. There's the evil inclination and there's the good inclination. So it's explained that till 13 years old, you don't have the full maturity. And if you don't have the full maturity, you also don't have the full Yetzer Tov. You don't have the full good inclination because you don't have the full complete level of the neshama, of the soul, till 13. That's why a person's not responsible till 13. For a girl, it's 12. And the Yetzer Tov doesn't completely come in to the person's body functioning till they're 13 years old. That's why the Yetzer Hara is called a melech zaken uksil, an old fool of a king. Why is he old? He's 13 years older than the Yetzer Tov. So one of the great rabbis was Rabbi Yonasan Eibshitz, going back many, many years. But his name was Rabbi Yonasan Eibshitz, a great leader of the Jewish people. So they asked him when he became bar mitzvah. When he was bar mitzvah, he was already 13 going on 50, in wisdom. So they asked him, according to our sages, it says that the Yetzer Hara comes in when you're already a kid. The Yetzer Tov only comes in when you're 13. So how are you able to balance it? You didn't even have a second voice, a full, complete, good voice to listen to. So how were you able to balance yourself till now to stay afloat and to do the right thing? He says it's very simple. Whenever the Yetzer Hara came to me, I said, hey, listen, the Yetzer Tov is not here yet. I can't listen to you. It's not for your teams. Come back to me when I'm 13 years old, and then we'll talk business. So he says he used that as an advantage to do that. Another story of being honest and trying to have an honest judgment. There was a great rabbi, his name was Shmuel Salant. He was the Av Bezdin of Yerushalayim. So he one time made a verdict, And the guy was a very, very disrespectful, in-your-face, threatening type of individual. So he didn't like what the rabbi said. He says, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So the rabbi answered him back, you think I'm going to be quiet? If you do all that to me, you think I'm going to be quiet? I'm also going to do things. I can also do things. So you might as well watch yourself. And that was it. So what happened? He thought, the troublemaker thought that he's going to report him to the, when he said I could do things, meant that he's going to report him to the government. And for that that's already a higher authority. He can't get out of it. So they asked the rabbi later, how did you say something? He said, I never said anything. I said, I can do things too. He said he's going to break my windows. I said, I'll do something to fix the windows. I never said what I'm going to do. I just said, I'll deal with it afterwards. Like, you're going to deal with that. I'll take care. I'm going to, So there is this concept that a person has to be able to seek the truth. And you also have to understand that if it comes to people, everybody has a perspective where they somewhat they're right. Nobody's 100% right and nobody's 100% wrong. As it's brought down, that even a Bezdin that will all say that the person is guilty from the 74 people, all say guilty, the guy walks free. Because it can't be the guy has nothing positive about him. It has to be something they should see. So Hashem should help, we should first recognize that we have to try to judge correctly. We have to also sometimes judge favorably. And we have to make a right judgment. And we have to be able to see it and to act upon it and to do the right thing. May we be zeicha to the time when Mashiach comes as a Shiva Sheftim V'Rishayna. We ask for the judgment, for the judges to be restored. We should be zeicha to that time when we have the proper judges, B'Karav Mamish. Amen.